We are stepping our way into the start of summer, but things could look very different this year because of the pandemic. Some activities we're used to enjoying may no longer be available to us. One local summertime spot made the announcement today that they will not be opening this year. Our Sydney Stallworth reports from Decatur.
As businesses across the state start to reopen, one popular North Alabama water park has decided to keep its gates closed for the rest of the 2020 summer season. They say this was not an easy decision to make.
We just feel like if we're not able to offer the experience that we're known for, that we feel like it would be better for us to start that over.
Nicole Belcher from Mallard Water Park tells us the decision wasn't a hasty one.
We spent about 2 weeks prior to this decision trying to figure out how many people that we could let in, how many maintenance workers we would have to be able to come in and implement, having someone in restrooms, wiping things down, concession workers. All of that would require extra employees on top of that.
Governor Ivey has allowed many of the state's businesses to reopen with modifications, but water parks can sometimes come with additional challenges. Mallard says there were just too many obstacles preventing the park from having a safe and profitable season, starting with the need for workers who need to complete proper training.
We spend most of March, April, and early May bringing those employees in and training them, getting them ready for the summer. We've not been able to do that so that we could adhere to the 6-foot social distancing.
And there are big adjustments that come with new CDC and state guidelines. Park officials say they had to be sure they could meet those needs before reopening. This year would have marked the park's 50th anniversary. They say they hope families understand that safety is their main concern, and they plan on using this time to ramp up the park.
We're going to do enhancements while we are closed. There are several things that it gives us the opportunity to go in and take care of.
Mallard representatives say they should be open for summer 2021, and they hope all their guests will come back to help them celebrate their 50th anniversary. Putting the Valley first, Cindy Stallworth, WZDX News.